Hello everyone, and we welcome you in live here to the EIF Christmas Blood pre-show. We are on the eve of the final night here in 2015, although it may not be that case in the calendar year's aspect. It is for Extreme International Fighting as we get set to dawn upon a new year and potentially a new era. 2016 is weeks away, and we're looking to send 2015 out with a bang here at the 8th Annual Christmas Blood, live exclusively right here on the EIF Network, courtesy of Twitch.tv. As always, I'm your host, EIF owner Carney, and folks, thanks for tuning in here tonight. We are getting set for what's going to be a huge night. We've got 4 championships on the line, as well as a Money in the Bank ladder match, a Royal Rumble qualifier, and more coming your way throughout this evening from pre-show to the end. I also want to let everybody know that, in case you're wondering, maybe it feels a little later for you than it does normally if you're an average viewer here on the EIF Network for our Saturday night specials. Well, that's going to be because we had a slight delay tonight. We did notify people in advance, but slight delay for tonight's broadcast. Pay-per-view is scheduled to start at 9 p.m. as opposed to the standard 8 p.m. And that means that the pre-show, of course, got backed up as well. So instead of the pre-show normally starting at 7 p.m., we pushed it back to 8 p.m., which is right now. And you guys are tuned in here. Eastern time, of course, is how we go. But this broadcast is streamed around the world, and for good reasons, because this is worldwide entertainment here at its best, and no, that's not what WWE stands for. Either way, though, we are getting set for such a fun night here tonight, and we're glad that you're here to join us. We mentioned 2016 coming at the turn of the calendar year, and that means a lot of things for superstars. For some, it means a new start, but for EIF superstars, this is simply a continuation, and everybody knows what comes around the corner. We've got the Royal Rumble at EIF's Ultimate Destiny pay-per-view heading our way in January, and shortly after that, before you know it, March 5th, 2016 will be here. EIF WrestleMania 9, you do not want to miss it, and there's exclusive deals going on right now for EIF WrestleMania 9, including some packages that we can talk about, as well as raffle tickets. We're selling some stuff where for just $1, you can end up, via donation, you can end up having your opportunity to win some pretty cool EIF prizes, and we can talk about that a little bit more directly and in private. All you need to do is contact me here on Xbox, EIF space owner space Carney, and if that's a mouthful for you, don't worry, because you'll see my gamer tag throughout the night watching all of this evening's matches. Speaking of this evening's matches, let's get to them a little bit. As on the pre-show, of course, we tend to break down some news, talk about some things, and we might have some major announcements for later on this evening. Let's start out with one of those announcements, as Superstar Wicked Jr., one of the 3 competitors scheduled for the Royal Rumble Triple Threat Qualifier matchup, is unable to compete tonight due to personal reasons. We wish Wicked Jr. the best of luck in his personal ordeals and hope that everything is well for the former X Division champion. Wicked had a tear of a run. In fact, nearly lasted 3 months as the EIF's X Division champion, and Wicked was hoping to be able to elevate his career to the next level. A Royal Rumble qualifier match certainly could have done that for him. However, not going to be the case here tonight for Wicked Jr., and so that leaves just Deathlock and Pepsi Killer to duke it out. For those two, it increases their chances from 33 1/3 to an even 50-50 between the 2 superstars, who will both be competing to earn a spot in the EIF 2016 Royal Rumble at Ultimate Destiny. We should let everybody know in advance that the EIF 2016 Royal Rumble features 5 spots, and rules on the Rumble will be revealed at a later time. So far, we have 2 confirmed spots. James Arkoffel winning an opportunity just about a week or 2 ago by beating Greedy, which was very entertaining and quite the upset victory, and so James deserved that. As well as the undefeated EIF superstar Brutality. He has yet to lose here in WWE 2K16. And of course, Brutality has multiple streaks in his career. He is the most successful superstar via win record, via world championship reigns. You name it, Brutality has done it. He and James Arkoffel are in the Royal Rumble thus far. Also, a stipulation of some sort. If Greedy, who is competing in tonight's Triple Threat Undisputed Superstar Championship match, well, if Greedy ends up losing tonight's match, he as well will be added to that Royal Rumble. So we could potentially be seeing only one spot open in this Royal Rumble following tonight's match between Deathlock and Pepsi. But regardless, between those two, we will find our guaranteed third, but possibly fourth competitor in the 2016 Royal Rumble. And that is at the EIF Ultimate Destiny pay-per-view coming up in January. We do not have confirmed dates for our 2016 pay-per-views other than WrestleMania. So guys, I will let everybody know that we are going to be getting on that for you all. And we're going to be letting people know that throughout our Christmas break here. And you can find out more information by checking us out at leaguelineup.com/EIFlives. And of course, for other breaking news and information, check us out on Twitter at EIF Network, as well as following us here on Twitch, because we may have some specials for you guys throughout our holiday breaks. No guarantee on that, but we do give the Superstars holiday breaks to make sure that they can enjoy the holidays, be it Christmas or any other holiday celebrated by our superstars, as well as ringing in the new year. We want to make sure that we give our superstars, the greatest superstars on WWE 2K16, a break and a moment to reflect and spend time with their friends and families. They have certainly earned it through their dedication and services here to Extreme International Fighting. So, going back, though, to that Royal Rumble qualifier match, we have Pepsi and Deathlock tonight. It's going to be an interesting match. These two have fought each other one-on-one in the past, but it's going to be especially interesting because, well, for Pepsi and Deathlock, it's a really big opportunity for them. Deathlock, a former Undisputed World Champion. However, the reigns have been short-lived for Deathlock. He's ran into some incidents as well, some technical difficulties that have caused Deathlock to struggle in the past. Deathlock, of course, represents John Cena on Superstardom, where he experienced a lot of success that led him into his ED category that he's remained in for months now. But he's been unsuccessful as of late, and he's going to be looking to get some help because for Deathlock, he hasn't really experienced a lot of success because he hasn't experienced a lot of action. Deathlock's been MIA for a while, but we do understand he is in the building tonight. Again, we haven't seen as much of Deathlock as of late, and that could give Pepsi the upper hand, a guy who really needs it. Pepsi Killer failing to win the Undisputed World Championship, trying to make the Cinderella story come true for him at our last pay-per-view. True Punishment just wasn't in the cards for Pepsi Killer, and so now he has an opportunity tonight to redeem himself somewhat. It may not be a world championship, but it's an opportunity to compete for a world championship. I shouldn't need to let you know that, of course, if Pepsi Killer is able to win, this would mean that he would go on to the Royal Rumble, and obviously Deathlock could go in there as well, and the winner could be main eventing EIF WrestleMania 9. Deathlock is a former EIF Royal Rumble winner, and he's a contestant there. Pepsi Killer has never competed in the EIF Royal Rumble, so it would be new territories for him. But of course, you'd have to think that in the current stanza, given the circumstances, Deathlock, we have not seen a lot of action of. He has not competed a lot, and because of that, we're going to see if Deathlock can overcome the odds and shake off the rust to defeat Pepsi Killer. I'm going to quit out of this match as I realized I was actually in control of one of the competitors. But either way, we'll get to another match here. Let's talk about the Superstardom Money in the Bank ladder match. This is going to be a huge match tonight. And we've got 4 competitors in that match. And really, a lot of people, you hear Money in the Bank and you think, okay, well, I'm pretty sure if you're, of course, this is only if you are an expert with EIF, because if you're not, then you may not have known this. But EIF Money in the Banks are historically held only at EIF WrestleMania. However, this time we're doing it at Christmas Blood. This will be the first time a Money in the Bank has ever been put on the line at a Christmas Blood. And the whole reason for this, the moral of the story, well, it's pretty simple. Zombie Slayer, former EIF superstar who won the Money in the Bank briefcase back at WrestleMania 8 earlier this year in March. Well, unfortunately for him, he has not shown up since winning that Money in the Bank. And because of that, Zombie Slayer has since been officially released from EIF. And, well, people don't like to see Money in the Banks go vacant now, do they? Of course, it happened earlier this year with Rage Instinct as well. But because of that, we are giving superstars another chance. 4 in particular. Those 4 superstars are Beatdown, Frost, Prof Jag, and Prismatic Nebula. These 4 superstars are going to get an opportunity to ascend the rungs to a ladder where the winner, for a limited time only, just roughly 3 months, will have a briefcase that they can use at any time, anywhere, and any place for the EIF Undisputed Superstardom Championship. By the way, guys, that includes over Christmas break. So that can be used on Christmas Day. We could end up having a Christmas broadcast. That can be at the end of a match that they're watching as a pure spectator. They can sit outside, taunt up 3 finishers, go in the ring, and use them. The Money in the Bank has endless possibilities. Also, we look at 4 superstars who have proven themselves. Beatdown and Frost believe they have, as they both have Undisputed Superstardom Championship reigns. Prof and Tripod, the jury is still out on, as Prof Jag is looking to build off of a successful 2K15 year. It was his first full year with the EIF after he spent the bottom quarter of 14 with the League of Extreme. And Prof Jag has certainly proved his doubters wrong. He has had one heck of a career. He's at times been outspoken, but that makes him a true superstar and a man of his word at times. When he promises things, he tends to deliver. And Prof Jag is hoping to promise himself a Money in the Bank briefcase victory that could absolutely elevate his career. And when you talk about careers and people who need it, you have to think that Tripod might need it more than just about any other superstar in this league. Tripod is the case of the little engine that could, but somehow never finds a way to can. As Tripod for 4+ years has spent time in this league. His longest reign, a mere 32-day World Heavyweight title reign in 2012. Tripod believed that following that reign, he would continue to ascend to greatness when the Undisputed Championships debuted in EIF later that year at EIF's WrestleMania 5. However, since then, Tripod has not only not won a main event championship, he has also had 20 opportunities at an Undisputed Championship, going 0 for 20 in that span. Tripod has been cursed by bad luck, and some say that if it weren't for bad luck, he would not have any. But Tripod is hoping that he can break that curse tonight. It starts with a Money in the Bank briefcase victory, and it ends with a cash-in, and perhaps Tripod's first undisputed reign, and as the Superstardom champion. And you take a look at their next competitor, Frost. Frost had the Superstardom Championship for roughly 2 months. It was the first time Frost had won an Undisputed Championship, and the first time he had won a main event title in 3+ years. However, Frost made the most of his reign and had a memorable one, to say the least. A number of tough defenses, including arguably the match of the year, as we're getting ready to close out 2015. Back at SummerSlam against Legend Killer DDV. That match can be found on YouTube at EIF Archive, ARCHIVE. Subscribe now. You can check out some of our past broadcasts, and what a match that was between Frost and Legend Killer DDV. And Frost is hoping that since, however, him losing the Superstardom Championship at September to Remember, Frost has somewhat fallen off, and he's hoping that he can get back on his high horse tonight with a Money in the Bank victory. And that brings us to Beatdown, Canada's finest and Canada's harshest. Beatdown, while we talk about Prof Jag being at times outspoken, while Beatdown is certainly known to speak his mind regardless of the case, regardless of the circumstances. Beatdown seems to just not care about what's on his mind and really doesn't care about what anybody else thinks. Beatdown's all about winning championships and ending careers if he can, and he's hoping to end hopes at least of 3 other superstars tonight, as Beatdown will look to win a Money in the Bank briefcase. But when you have to think about Beatdown, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt here, and the fact that this is a guy who, due to unfortunate circumstances, he never received a one-on-one rematch, a fair rematch for his Undisputed Superstardom Championship that he lost just 1 day after winning it, September 2nd. Last time he's been Superstardom champion, and it's been a rough time for Beatdown. Although he's found some decent wins in between and during that stretch, he's struggled in the main event level, and that's something that Beatdown's going to look to reprimand here tonight if he can win that Money in the Bank. We also want to let everybody know that we have 4 championship matches scheduled here tonight. The X Division, US, and both World Championships set to be on the line. We talk about X Division. Let's talk about James R. Koffel. James R. Koffel finally getting his first championship in EIF. Took him over a year, but he did it. and he won it in fashion and in style at True Punishment. An absolute blister took place, much like the Money in the Bank ladder match that we'll be seeing here tonight. And James Zarkoffel was able to ascend to the top and end the 2+ month X Division title reign of Wicked and begin his reign as a one-time X Division champion. James Zarkoffel successfully defended the title against Wicked in a rematch for the championship. And now James' next contestant, his next opponent, comes Tyron Hunt, one of the 3 competitors along with James, who was accompanying him in that ladder match back at True Punishment. So he is hoping that he can avenge his loss at True Punishment with an X Division title win over James. Tyron has held the X Division title before, as well as a number of other mid-card titles, and he's got the experience factor on his side where James does not. However, James has had a really impressive start to 2K16, in part due to on the Superstardom side of things. He had a huge win over Greedy. He competed head-to-head and was evenly matched with Jetstar, although Jet was able to best James. We've seen the best production and the most production out of James here over the last month that we have in his entire 1+ year career as an EIF superstar. Although that's a brief career, it's still something acknowledgeable to be said on the end of James, and he's going to hope that he can get his second successful title defense for the X Division title here tonight over Tyron Hunt and extend that reign into 2016. He could potentially walk into the Royal Rumble with that X Division championship, something that would add to the confidence of James, who already knows he has an opportunity at Destiny, at Ultimate Destiny, come next month. And speaking of first-time champions, well, let's talk about EBAM's Superstar Sensation was in that X Division title match at True Punishment, and Bams took quite the beating for a guy who sort of fell right out of the sky, but he was falling quite a bit out of the sky at the match at True Punishment, but Bams earned the respect of his competitors, and the following week, he earned the United States Championship from competitors in a triple threat match with Animosity and at that time champion NBC Master. Bams was able to put the Koji clutch on Animosity and force him to tap out, a match, of course, that did not involve the champion needing to be pinned nor submit to lose his championship. Master was furious after the matter of fact, and because of that, Master has chose to use his rematch clause where he can hope to get extreme against EBAMS tonight. When we talk about experience with the last few matches, it's really hard to say that there's an experience edge on either side here. Bams, yes, fairly new. Master also pretty new too, though. This guy's only been in EIF maybe a couple months longer than EBAMS, and the United States title was NBC Master's first championship reign in EIF, and he'd certainly like to get it back. In this match, being that it is Superstardom, you have to look at more of a character perspective. It's going to be Sami Zayn being represented by EBAMS and the Beast Brock Lesnar being represented by NBC Master. You have to wonder, you have size versus speed, power versus agility. Which one is going to be able to conquer? And each game has been pretty subjective, and we've seen different things. In last game, it felt like the cruiserweights were the more dominant side, but you can look back at some older games and say that that was not the case. So because of that, it's going to be very tough to determine who is the better of the two, but we are going to find the answer to that later on this evening. And with that, we bring us to our doubleheader main events of the evening, but we want to remind everybody we do have a pre-show match coming your way in just a few minutes. Former United States champion Neil is going to hope to bring the power of positivity to everybody with the New Day's representative Xavier Woods, as Neil will be in action here on the pre-show, just recently making his return to EIF after an early absence here on 2K16. But when we talk about our two main events, let's talk about the Undisputed Superstardom Championship. An Extreme Rules match there, as well as the U.S. title, but the stakes are that much higher. Hybrid Maniac will defend his championship that he won quickly after Greedy was able to get his hands on it. And Jetstar is going to hope that the Cinderella story can finally come full circle, as Jet has came close numerous times to winning the Undisputed Superstardom Championship. It has just been fingertips away. Tonight, weapons will apply, rules will not. Jetstar and Greedy looking to challenge Hybrid Maniac, who has been known as Mr. Superstardom arguably over the last few years, although Hybrid somewhat took a leave of absence from the brand of Uncreated in 2015, Hybrid still came back with quite the name here in 2K16, and as Daniel Bryan, it's tough to pass up. His challengers are featuring Greedy, the 5 reversal demon Undertaker, as well as Jetstar, the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. And it's going to be an interesting match between these 3 superstars. Jetstar earning the right to get in this match, Greedy using a rematch clause on Hybrid Maniac. The odds are going to be stacked against Hybrid in terms of a champion. And the Captain Obvious rule of thumb, of course, is that Hybrid does not need to submit nor be pinned in order to lose his championship. Jet could pin Greedy, or Greedy could tap out Jet. In any order, it doesn't matter. A new champion can be crowned through that situation. And Hybrid is hoping, because Hybrid believes that he has less to fight for. And believe it or not, although that's hard to say considering he's a champion, you take a look at these guys. Greedy knows his position right now. He also knows that, hey, if he loses this, he's in the in the Royal Rumble rather. However, if you're Jetstar, how many opportunities can you have until time runs out? Jetstar has failed to capitalize despite looking good in numerous matches. He was in the final 2 of the Elimination Chamber Superstar title match at True Punishment last month. But how many opportunities are left? Could this potentially be the last opportunity for Jetstar to get the World Championship? And everybody knows that time is of the essence, and with only months away till WrestleMania, it is this time right now, a pivotal time in all 3 of these men's careers where they can win a championship and potentially main event WrestleMania. Hybrid, again, experience, we talk about. Keyword here in tonight's pre-show, and Hybrid has what Jet and Greedy do not. Experience as an undisputed champion. Yes, Greedy's held undisputed championships, hasn't held them as long as Hybrid has. Hybrid's main evented WrestleManias. Jet debuted in WrestleMania last year. Greedy has never been in a WrestleMania main event, and Hybrid did it twice. Hybrid went through an hour-plus match. Hybrids went through a 1-hour match. Hybrid has main evented the last 2 WrestleManias. Again, Jet and Greedy pale in comparison. This is going to be a really, really tough task for guys like Jet and Greedy to be able to overcome the experience of Hybrid. I talked with COO Brutality earlier this morning going into tonight's show, and Brutality is going to be keeping a watchful eye from a distance tonight as Brutality is out of town, business trip for the COO, as he's going to be MIA for Christmas Blood tonight, but he does wish his best and a happy holidays to all of our viewers and superstars. And, you know, I talked with Brutality earlier today, and I said, it's tough to say, man. You're undefeated in 2K16, but who's the best? I mean, really, who is? And he said, look, I think he might have been the best in 2K15 as well as this year. There's no doubt in my mind. Hybrid is the man to beat in this league. And with that kind of confidence from the COO, you have to know that that is just swelling in the Undisputed Superstar champion. But of course, Jet and Greedy are looking to rewrite that theory from Brutality. And of course, they're looking to rewrite the championship reign as one of those two look to walk out tonight with the Undisputed Superstardom Championship. And that brings us to, of course, our main event this evening. The arena tonight, tables, ladders, and chairs. The main event tonight is tables, ladders, and chairs. We get a TLC Undisputed World Championship match. For the first time in nearly 2 years, the World Championship is being defended in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Ratluck defending his World Championship against Hostile Exile and DZ. Hostile Exile was able to capture the title from Ratluck basically a day or so after winning the championship, but Hostile's reign only lasted a few minutes as Ratluck cashed in his final anytime title shot from the tournament he won earlier this year, the Battle for Glory All-Stars tournament, and Ratluck yet again redeemed himself as Undisputed World Champion. DZ is coming in as the third wheel, the third party, the middleman to this situation, as he always has before. However, DZ has won the World Championship not once but twice in matches that involved climbing a ladder to obtain the championship. This match features the same. DZ added a little bit of a twist where all 3 superstars will need to hit 3 finishers at least in order to be eligible to climb the ladder tonight. And DZ is going to hope that despite that skill circumstance possibly tipping in the scale favor of Ratluck and Hostile, DZ can use his manipulation skills as well as his dirtiest player in the game skills to be able to ascend the ladder and become EIF Undisputed World Champion. And we talked about Jetstar and time running out for chances for Jet. DZ's got to be thinking the same thing. This is a man who wants to main event WrestleMania again and wants a second opportunity in the spotlight, but DZ knows how crucial it is to get these wins, especially after, yet again, showing some signs of struggle early on in this game, as well as what we've seen in the past few. Hostile Exile, on the other hand, well, Hostile Exile is quite the curious case. He's known for Money in the Banks at WrestleMania, but due to the Money in the Banks, they've sort of tied into Hostile becoming Mr. WrestleMania. This is a guy who entertains always. He has had some of the best matches in this league's history over the course of the last 8+ years. And Hostile Exile, although not going for Money in the Bank, knows a thing or two about ladder matches. He's been able to win quite a few in his career, and he's came through clutch. This is an opportunity for him to do it here tonight. WrestleMania time is ticking down, and Hostile feels overlooked as he has only main evented WrestleMania one time in his career, and you'd have to go all the way back to 2011 to find the last main event Hostile was in at the grandest stage of them all. A World Championship win tonight, heading into Christmas break, could be just what Hostile needs to put him over the hump and back into the elite level of main event that he believes he is capable of achieving. And while Ratluck, you talk about what a year for a superstar, perhaps the superstar of the year. Ratluck has had an absolute roller coaster of a ride throughout 2015, but it has been a ride that he has certainly enjoyed. From his early beginning of the year, where he was undisputed Superstar champion, Ratluck soon after lost the championship in the early goings of 2K15, only to win the ever so controversial main event of EIF WrestleMania 8. Following that, Ratluck would go on to yet again win the World Championship later on in the year, but not before conquering every single superstar that stepped in his way at the EIF Battle for Glory All-Stars Tournament. Ratluck maxed out the BFG this year. Each round of all 4 that he competed in went to the limit. A best of 1 turned into, of course, a one and done. The best of 3 went to all 3. The best of 5 went to the final match, and we had a Game 7 for only the second time in BFG history. Ratluck defied the odds, defeating superstars such as Legend Killer, Deathlock, and more throughout this tournament, and many believe had the hardest bracket in the BFG this year, or perhaps any superstar has ever had to get into the finals. Ratluck still, though, able to win that match. Using both of his anytime title shots this year as well, he successfully cashed them in. He won the True Punishment main event. He's done it all. Ratluck has had an absolutely fantastic year, and he's looking to end it with a fantastic finish. This is one thing, though, that Ratluck has struggled with this year as well as years past, and that's holding on to championships. Ratluck historically is not known for being a successful champion in terms of defenses, and he's going to have to find a way to defend here tonight successfully in what might be his toughest challenge yet as an EIF World Champion when he goes in a triple threat tables, ladders, and chairs match against Hostile Exile and DZ. All that coming your way here tonight at EIF's 8th annual Christmas Blood. It is going to be an exciting night. It is going to be a great night. And of course, it is going to be the last night for EIF here on 2015. But we're coming back in 2016, so do not miss it. And we're also going to be coming back after we take this quick commercial break. And when we return, we've got some action for you right here on the pre-show at Christmas Blood. We'll be back after this. All right, and we are back here live at the Christmas Blood pre-show, about to get things underway with some pre-show action. You can't go wrong with that, right, guys? Heard enough of talking, time for actions to speak louder than words, and we're going to get set here. Also want to remind everybody that tonight's pay-per-view event, including our pre-show match tonight, will not feature entrances. We will do in-ring introductions for tonight's event. Woo, 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 you know it. And for some reason, I think I was wondering why I was doing wrong. I was at the main menu, but either way, as I was saying, that tonight will not feature entrances, but we are working on them over the holiday break, and there's a good chance that we'll be bringing them back for you guys, as we've been talking a lot with EIF superstar and Undisputed World Champion Ratluck. Because even though he's had a great year as a superstar, he's also had a great year as a dedicated member of the league. Organization-wise, Ratluck helps us in so many ways, and Ratluck is continuing to do so, as he's going to be trying to help us with Elgato Capture Card. And he'll be hoping to assist us by having music work for you guys. So instead of you guys having to sit here and deal with no music, we'll actually be able to have music for you guys for once. Alright, well, I invited Jumper V Magnum, but for some reason he is not talking after just telling me he was here and ready. We've got some pretty smart guys here in this league. You will all know that, of course, if you're faithful followers of EIF. Don't have to pass an IQ test. I should be speaking for everybody after saying that. Alright, and now we're just going to continue to wait, as Jumper just told us he was here. So we have sent you the invite, Jumper. Alright, there we go. So again, getting set here for our pre-show match here tonight. Following the pre-show match, we'll be taking a brief break before going live on pay-per-view at the top of the hour. Don't forget, at the top of the hour, we have a hype video prepared for all of you. Special video package done as always, as Flair is failing to proceed to the match. But a special video package prepared by Hybrid Maniac. Of course, Hybrid, you know, we look back at the, now that we're at the end of 2015, you begin to reflect. Hybrid, a big reason for why we're all here in terms of Twitch.tv, and in this later stages of the year, Hybrid's been providing us with some great hype videos. You can catch some of the past ones on YouTube, another channel that Hybrid helps in the social media ambassador aspects of EIF, as we get set for our first contest here tonight. All right, a little bit of lag, but there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in just a minute with the introductions, as the following contest is our opening match of the evening. Introducing first, in the bottom left corner, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he is representing Xavier Woods, the real deal, Neil. And introducing his opponent, coming your way from Australia, he is representing the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin, Jumper V Magnum. All right, ready, guys? Jumper back up in the corner. There we go. All right, ding, ding, ding. And we are underway here at Christmas Blood pre-show match. as Flair and Jumper Magnum. Jumper in action at the last pre-show, came up short. He's hoping to avenge himself here as he takes a head scissor takedown from Neil. And now Neil dropping the fist on the face of Jumper. Stomp onto the ribs, Jumper rolling out of the ring. Used a reversal to do so. Jumper now rolling back in. Underneath the bottom rope, he runs into the boots of Neil. New Day stopped. Oh, wait a minute, and he stops him. Reverse. DDT takedown connects for Neil. Jab to the back of the head of Jumper, a second jab. And reverse DDT from Flair connects. Flair, also known as Neil, former United States champion. Which a DDT springboard from the middle rope connects for Neil. And a stomp onto the back. We do apologize, guys, for a little bit of lag here. Again, Jumper does hail all the way from down under, so that could have to do with it. But we'll also be checking out some things while we take a brief break following this match before we go live at 8. Or at 9, sorry, a little out of sync here tonight. And we'll check some things out to hopefully improve the quality for you guys coming up when we hit actual pay-per-view time. As Neil using another reversal, drop an elbow into the face. Hard to reverse in lag like this, but this honestly can separate great superstars from not so great. You learn to compete in all different situations of the game, all kinds of elements, and not just stipulation or how many competitors are in a match. Things like this do happen at times, and you'll see Jumper out of reversals right now. 3-4 reversal advantage for Flair, and that's just natural based on superstars. As soon as he gets a reversal back, he uses it. You guys look at the momentum here. Jumper is getting it really taken to him from Neil, who's trying to make quick work of this match. I don't think it's just to impress. I also think it's to try and get out of this absolutely lag-fested opener here. Couple of stomps connecting for Neil. Jumper being picked up. And now trying to tee off for Flair. This will get him the signature. And he's showing some flair with that split. Nice combo connects and opportunity to make quick work of his opponent. Jumper Magnum dropped with the elbow. Magnum's got to look for a reversal here, but he's got to time it. And just a regular snapping suplex from Neil. As where you have to show your patience and determine when is the right time to use the reversal of your Jumper, because you don't know if that honor roll is going to come out of nowhere. Not quite. Elbow to the back of the head. Got to think of your Jumper. Maybe you're just trying to get that last reversal, and instead he could not. Ends up using his only reversal that he had. He's got to hope he can maintain offense for the time being to at least get his one reversal back. Stomp onto the chest of Neil, who's about to get two reversals. I think that might be what he's waiting for, is a lock on the shoulder area from Jumper Magnum, trying to apply some pressure on the Neil. He's also hoping he's got to get his reversal back soon. Baron Corbin again, only 3 reversals. And again, going back to that shoulder area from Jumper. One-on-one action here. Not too many one-on-ones set to occur tonight. Originally it was only 2, now 3. And of course we have 3 multi-mans as well coming up in the pay-per-view. 2 triple threats, a fatal 4-way. It's going to be one heck of a night. Do not want to miss it. Believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And Neil and Jumper just trying to get the crowd warmed up here for what's going to be a stellar night, as Neil now waking up Jumper for what could be the end. We could be seeing the honor roll, and we do. No reversal. Honor roll connects for Neil. Will the lag affect the pin bar? Time to find out. 1, 2. Neil gets the victory. lost in the woods, on a roll, whatever you want to call it. I think that connection might have been lost in the trees. Either way, Neal able to squeak out the victory. A guy who is a former United States champion, you'd have to think he'll keep a heavy eye on the U.S. title match here tonight between NBC Master and EBAMS, scheduled for later on this evening. So Neal picks up the victory in easy fashion, yet laggy fashion, over Jumper Magnum. Jumper with back-to-back pay-per-view pre-show losses, and he's going to hope to correct that come 2016. So guys, that is just a brief sample, and believe me when I tell you, I mean, that is a water drop in the ocean of what kind of action you can expect here tonight at EIF's 8th Annual Christmas Blood, as well as every pay-per-view that you see here for EIF on twitch.tv/EIF Network, where you can follow us right here to catch all the action. We've got so much more action coming your way at the top of the hour, and it's in just less than 20 minutes. We're kicking it off with a hype video, followed by the final pay-per-view of 2015 for Extreme International Fighting. It's the 8th Annual Christmas Blood coming your way next, right here on EIF Network.